Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. Welcome, everyone. This is brought to you by the Connected Leaders Academy and Building a Leadership Mindset Global, which is coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned for that information. I have an amazing guest with us today, and we met back during my book, and I'm super excited that he has agreed to come on, and I'm so happy to highlight him. He is Christopher Collins II. Christopher Collins is a children's book author of Chris's Family Celebration. He is the owner of Collins Digital Services, which serves customers through photography, videography, and editing, website building, and social media marketing. He is also the chief deputy editor of the Anointed News Journal, a faith-based and professional newspaper in Camden, New Jersey. He is a board member of the nonprofit organization called the Ree Wynn Foundation, which is an organization that provides education and awareness for TTP, a rare blood disorder. He is a graduate of Penn State University, a resident of South Jersey, serves at his church, and has been married to his wife for 11 years. He enjoys watching and playing sports, spending time with his family, serving God, and helping others. His goal is to walk in the purpose God has for him and help uplift others. And we are going to bring him on. Welcome, Chris. How are you today?
Morning. I'm doing well, very well. How are you, Nikki?
I am well. Great morning. So happy to have you here. I met you through Amelia Roman and Daniela Roman. They're absolutely phenomenal people. They are actually my publishers. We actually had a AMA business book camp 2023 back in January. That's where we met. You are from the newspaper, The Anointed.
Yes.
How did all this happen? So you have a lot going on. I absolutely love your story. And I can't wait for our viewers to just hear everything you have going on, especially about your book. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, Chris, tell us a little backstory. Where are you from and what actually got you into this entrepreneurial space?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm from South Jersey, born and raised, and pretty much, lived all over Camden County growing up, right outside of Philly, just 20 minutes. And then basically after high school, went to Penn State for college, was at the satellite campus for 2 years, which was like in Pottsville, PA, Schuylkill Haven area. Then went up to the main campus for 2 years. And then from there, I went into essentially, I was trying to find a career job. My degree was health policy administration. And I was just having a tough time finding a career job. And it was crazy. And so I was just working like Walmart, Sam's Club. I did get to work in the doctor's office briefly in the billing and collections department. And then eventually I just was like, it was the start of 2015, 4 years after I graduated. And I was like, I'm getting a career job no matter what this year. So I went to, I started applying online and ended up going to an IT company in Kansas City, Missouri. And I was there for a year. My wife and I moved out there, and it was a wonderful town. But it just didn't really work or fit for me. Got the job transferred back to like the King of Prussia area so I could come back home. And I was dealing with a 3-hour round trip commute, all that. And I was just depressed pretty much. So actually, I guess while I was still in Kansas City at the end, I came across a guy, Ty Lopez, an entrepreneur, and he had this course, 67 Steps to Health, Wealth, Love, Happiness. And someone was just like, hey, buy that course. Just go get it. It was $67. It was like, just go get it. Because he seems like he knows a lot of stuff. So when I went through the course, and I just felt like, hey, I'm going to get something I'm going to get something out of this. And from there, I did my first children's book, or my only so far, but I did my children's book. And it's called Chris's Family Celebration. And I was just inspired because I have a huge loving family, and I wanted to highlight that. So that was my first entrepreneur endeavor, was making the children's book.
Oh my
And yeah. So I guess fast forward to I left my job. Yeah.
Before we go into that fast forward mode, because you said a lot, and I just have to touch
Oh, okay.
base on this,
Yeah.
Chris, because you have hit some strings, and probably to our viewers. Okay, first you went to Penn State. You're going for health. You're thinking you're going to get, a fulfilling job, in your career, right? In your studies
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I didn't originally go straight to college, but I did work at a healthcare company and I was there for 15 years. During that time, I did think that, they were going to have to drag me out of this company because I love who I worked with, what I did. And also, got a degree. How important is it now to regret going through that journey? And how important is it for people to understand that it's okay if you get a degree and you don't live up to that degree? There's more opportunities. Can you kind of share a little bit about your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So well, I would say when I was in college, I had I'll say a mentor who said, if when you come out of college, would you want to get something in your field or in another field? And I was like, oh, I want something in my field. And he was already saying you should have a more broad mindset of being okay if you don't have something in your field. So I think, getting the degree, it is in your field, but, you have to be open-minded to, the possibilities of where you fit in and what's available to you. And then also, I think there's a lot of notable celebrities. I think even someone like Bruce Willis went to college, got his degree, I believe. But, obviously he's a movie star. So I think it's still something where, so you may not live up to it in the sense of what you went to school for, but I still feel good that I got polished and molded, and, you can still go through the ringer in college. So you come out a more polished and sharp individual. So there's still a lot of skills you can learn and use.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I just wanted to kind of point it out because, I went through the process as well. I wish I would have did it like right after high school.
Mm-hmm.
It would have, I think I would have started my journey a little bit. It's never too late. And it's okay that even if you go into a certain, and I actually write this in my book, that there's certain dream jobs that we want, but we end up doing something totally opposite of what that is. And that's okay. And that's really what I want to kind of just showcase there on that. And you also have a mentor, right? You had a mentor during college. That's something important to have. But then you go and you buy a $67 course. Sometimes we're just trying to pick up, pennies to try to even get any type of course or any type of personal development and stuff like that. But you took that chance, you paid it, you took the course, and you ran with it. How important was that for you to do that?
Yeah, I think we all have the crossroads in our life. So I was optimistic growing up, and I went to college, but that was really like the path for me. I mean, it's changed now with, I guess, the newer generation, but like, I was still, I think, at a tail end of just go to college and get a good job. That's what I grew up thinking, outside of sports dreams that, once I saw my sports dreams didn't work out, was go to college, get a job. And then, sorry, I lost my train of thought on,
No, it's okay.
oh, so the course. Yeah. So I had a lot of like, I always wanted to be, like on a path to success. But once it was just go to college, get a job, it kind of pigeonholed me, I felt like. And I was at a crossroad where I was, I guess some form of depression, maybe starting while I was in Kansas City in the IT field. And, Yeah, so I actually went online to actually watch a sermon. So I went on YouTube to watch a Joyce Meyer sermon. I turned to Joyce Meyer. I don't even think I got to the sermon because turned to Joyce Meyer and there was an ad before the thing came on. It was the Ty Lopez. And he was just like, yeah, I want to talk about these three things: knowledge, strategy, execution. And because I never thought being an entrepreneur was possible. I never thought of it. So even I had a friend in college. I was cutting his hair, and we were talking about something, and I was like, it's not like I'm going to be rich one day. He was like, yeah, but you don't know that yet. I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to be rich. I'm just, I'm a regular dude. So I never had. So when I heard Ty Lopez talking, I'm like, he just seems like there's so much more he wants to say. I need to buy this course. It was at a crossroads. And I think when you're at a crossroads in your life, you're less fearful. You're more likely to just be like, hey, I'm just going to do it. Whatever comes from it, comes from it. What's $67? Or even if $67 is a lot at the time, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I'm just going to do it. And I followed it through and it just opened my eyes. I was like, wow, I can be an entrepreneur. I actually can do something else. It just opened my mind. It just took the glass ceiling I put on myself. And it was like, wow, I have endless possibilities to do something.
Yes, we all have endless. Oh my goodness. I love that. We all have endless possibilities. And it's just that mindset that I can't be rich. Why? That's something we should never tell ourselves because we can. We can do anything that we want. It's just what steps are you going to take to actually get there? And you took those steps. You took a chance, took a risk, decided to say, okay, hey, you know what? Let's see what those possibilities are. And it was proven to show you that they were possibilities. So I love that. So did you write your book before you started the digital services, or did you write your book after the digital services?
Before the digital services. The Collins Digital Services is something recent, I'll say. So the book I pretty much released late 2016. So that was my first ever entrepreneur thing. So yeah.
So let's talk about that book because I too have, for my mom, there's a huge family there. On my dad's side, there's a huge family there. Like my grandmother had the Brady Bunch. On my mom's side, she had the 3 boys, the 3 girls. And on my dad's side, they had the Brady Bunch +2, 4 boys, 4 girls. So imagine how many cousins I had. But you really took this concept of just this family ship and putting life stories. Tell us a little bit about that and what actually triggered, like, who did you have any like pushback on, you shouldn't write the book, or was it just all love and just go for it?
Well, I don't even know, outside of my wife, I don't even know who I was telling I was writing. So there wasn't really any pushback. It was just trying to find the money. Maybe that would have been the pushback. But I pretty much broke it up. Like there's essentially, I believe, 12 scenes in the book. So each scene I paid the illustrator essentially $150. It ended up being about $1,500 broken up throughout the course of several months to write the book. I mean, to get the illustrator to illustrate it. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight my family, and no, I didn't have any pushback. I just wanted to do it from a pure place. I'll say my wife counseled me from a standpoint of, at one point I was a little bitter about something that happened in the family, and I was almost going to put that into the book a little bit, and she was like, no, she's like, that doesn't sound right, that won't work. So I just kept it straight up pure, and it was inspired by my family, just the love I had. And it wasn't really original. Stuff seems original, but it's our creativity, but we're really using our own experiences. So it's not like I came up with this creative story. I just thought about stuff that I actually did, and family members that I actually had. I sent the illustrator pictures of my family members and all that. So yeah.
That is awesome. So how that journey, you said it took several months to kind of put together. What was your your process on getting all those stories together and your viewpoints and stuff, and how can we get a hold of the book?
Yeah. So as far as the creation of the book, like, well, being as though it's a children's book, depending on what age group, there's not much content in the book as far as words. So the book itself, I kind of drafted in like an hour or so. And then from there, I was just like getting a whole bunch of proofreaders. I had coworkers proofread it, I had my wife proofread it. I had someone who I sent it to my parents, one of their friends who was in the legal field, proofread it. I just wanted to make sure I put it through Grammarly. I just wanted to make sure there was no grammatical errors, nothing that stood out. I didn't have to be perfect in the sense of you could tell I'm an author like J.K. Rowling, but it just had to be like, just had to be like solid, So, so once I did that, that was pretty much it. Outside of that, it was more so letting the illustrator know what I wanted because he was in the Philippines. I went on Fiverr.com, found the illustrator that was exactly the style I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And I just had to, there was some cultural differences. So, I had to go with the various shades of skin. And then, I mean, he just, he was making everybody at first dark with afros. And I'm like, wait, let me show, let me show you the variations of the Black community, or at least African American. So, and then there was like one scene where they were at a party and it was like, there was like these wine bottles and wine cups. I was like, hey, can you change those to soda bottles and, kid cups, so just little nuances like that. But yeah, it went pretty smooth, and yeah.
Was it a fun journey? Would you write another one?
I would. I did think about it. So I have to see. Maybe after being a part of the Alma family, I can find more inspiration to write more. But yeah, I have thought of other ones. Maybe Chris's first day at school, Chris's snow day. Different things like that.
And what about a business book or something of that nature, kind of just telling your story, your journey? Is that something, an authority book that you want to do?
I do want to do that. I guess we all have those hang-ups about ourselves of not feeling accomplished enough yet to be able to do one. So for example, I don't feel like where I want to be yet entrepreneurially to have an authority book, but I do want to have one once I feel I have enough to share and that I've gotten to a certain milestone. So I would like to have an authority book. But right now, personally, I just don't feel like I'm quite there yet.
No, that's one limiting belief that we all have where we feel like we're not there. We have to hit these accolades and stuff like that. Chris, I think you're very established, especially that, you have your digital service, you have your anointed, your story, your testimony, and what you're telling us here is an authority book all in itself for the first portion. Until you get to those milestones, then you write another one. So that's just a coaching lesson right here on BALM. You are amazing. Let's go into, what you started, about a year ago, year or two, for Collins Digital Service, which I've seen you in action. I've seen some of your stuff printed. So absolutely love what you do there. We might have to speak offline on stuff too. So let us know about those services.
Yes. So Collins Digital Services, I do photography, I do videography, I do social media marketing, and video editing. So I've made like commercials for small businesses, like promo videos. So I pretty much got into photography through the newspaper that I'm a part of. So I pretty much, and because I serve on church with the tech team and, editing sermons, different things, I've just gotten into all the technical aspects. And from being in the IT field, I've been very familiar with, I guess, the behind the scenes. So it's not as taxing for me to create a website. I guess I left out the website design. So I've had a few clients where I've built them a website. They really just had an idea, but they didn't know anything about how to do the website. And so I did that for them as well. So just kind of bringing all those technical and content aspects together where you just need someone to do it for you at an affordable rate too.
Awesome. So that's your passion. That's how you serve. That's how you get in community, share with, share other people's vision through your work. But it's really their vision. I love that. I also too have done, web design. I've actually done all of my own stuff since I became an entrepreneur, Yeah. So I'm ready to kind of maybe put that. No, I'm not gonna stop because I just get into this creative mindset. Like I literally was up at 2:00 in the morning. Okay, how am I gonna do my flyer today? So, but I do. I definitely, we can all grow. I definitely need, some additional. How do you say? Like there's always room for growth, new techniques, new things that are coming out there. There's apps, new everything, and you have to be ready to be able to adapt to those things. And no matter what it is that you're going through in life and whatever path you want to take as a career goal, you always have to get yourself in the room with people that are doing the same thing or have been through it so that you can grow as well. How important is it? I mean, how did you like the AMA boot camp? Was that a first event like that you've ever been to? How was the atmosphere for you there? Because it was just great having you and getting to know you.
Yeah, you know what? Since I've been with the newspaper, I've been with the newspaper for 2 years, the Anointed News Journal. I have gone to a lot of networking events. And I've also met a lot of like political figures, local celebrities, things like that. But the AMA event was different because this was like a lot of entrepreneurs, and I could tell some of them were like bigwigs, so to speak. And I feel like I've never been in such a distinguished group of entrepreneurs, like all at one time, one collection. So it was definitely an imprint moment for me of like wow factor. So being there, I'm just soaking it all up, still making sure I do my job, getting the content, so I can write a story for it. But it was just amazing. It was amazing to meet people who are really going after their dreams, because I only see it from afar. I either see, like, usually when I go to a networking event, it's networking. It's not the same as what that was. These were people who were really investing in themselves to be there and just really going after it. So it was very, it was inspirational, uplifting.
Yeah. Well, they did that to me back in May of 2022, which was the life-changing moment. Nikki, Building a Leadership Mindset podcast, all of that. I've had the podcast I've been sitting on this YouTube channel for about 2 years, going on 3 years, really never did anything with it. Didn't know it was going to be the title of my book. Didn't know it was going to be the name of my podcast. Didn't know that it was going to create a coaching course, because I had all of this in me. But it was when I decided to say yes, to go into that room with AMA back at their media training and speaker competition, spoke for the first time on a stage in front of people that I did not know. Like literally everybody was new to it. The only one I knew was my son, because I took him with me. And the sense, like for 2 seconds, I was so intimidated because, like you said, yes, these are people actually making a move. They're determined, they're ready, they're already in action. And here I am, just trying to find my way. And they accept you with just open arms and show you that the possibilities are available. So I definitely know what you felt, because I felt it. I feel it each time I'm with them. So I absolutely love that you said that. We're going to take a quick break, real quick, just about a minute, and then we'll be back on and we'll see how we can get a hold of you and what's next for Chris. Give me 1 second. You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Yes, if you are looking for communities, definitely the Connected Leaders Academy. I joined them also back in May of 2020, and life has absolutely changed since then. And just some amazing people. Chris, you got to meet a lot of them firsthand, and I'm sure the welcome was so receiving. And we just had a ball. We had a great time. I've seen some of the footage that's been out there, and Jose is the real deal. So definitely connect with him as well if you haven't already. But yeah, so Chris, what's new? How important is it for you to be the leader in your life and create this momentum now that you have been exposed to the love, right? To the ama. So what is next for you, and how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so what's next for me? Well, my whole, I'll say, leadership mindset is really just being that leader for my family. So not only establishing like myself and then, making sure my wife is taken care of. And then when we have kids, but also, you have parents, you have siblings, you have loved ones that you want to lead in the right direction and be able to take care of if something happens. And it's just important to me to also be a generational leader. Like, we're going to have people come under us and we get this set if they're going to start in poverty or start in a broken home, all these different things that we're able to set the tone with. So my goal is to essentially create generational wealth, be the husband, be the family member I need to be all across the board, so that, because I grew up where my parents were struggling. That's a handicap for a kid to start off, because we start with those glass ceilings on ourselves because we see it right from the beginning. So I don't want that for my children, and I don't even want that for adults who need to break out of it to get back where they want to be. A lot of adults have given up on their dreams. So it was really for me to just be a walking testimony to people. And in order to do that, I have to do it with myself. And it's hard, it can be very hard, but that's just my goal, because if I can do that, then I know I can really help people. So yeah, that's my mindset. What's next is really, so I did, like I told you, the Tai Lopez course. I went on a course streak like we all have done, but I wasn't into real mentorship and coaching from a standpoint of community. So honestly next for me is really, I'm a part of the ALMA family now. I just got into the Connected Leaders Academy. I also want to join the Underdog Millie Club.
Yes.
And with those three, honestly, I want to contribute. I don't want to just be a cipher, but it's almost like I'm just going to let them raise me. Just being around all that knowledge, wealth of knowledge, and people who are driven, they drive me. I mean, I've been on so many Zoom calls over the last 2 weeks. That's something I was on maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Now I'm on 4 or 5 calls a week, and it's probably going to be the new norm. So it's pushing me, but it's I feel like that's going to be the knowledge that really gets me where I want to go, which is, well into 6 figures and the millionaire and all that. I never dreamed I could be a millionaire. Actually, coming out of college, I was like, hey, one day I'll be able to make 80K and I'll have the American dream, all that stuff. And I'm like, shoot, 80K now is just like, I guess it's more so what I'm trying to say is like, that's not the dream. Like, it's like, hey, I can do way better. But once again, you come out and you're just like, hey, if I just do something that I'll be good enough with that, because you don't really know what's possible. So I'm just want to like really smash through that glass ceiling and put it, sky's the limit.
Yeah, break it. You're breaking it now just by even connecting with those communities. There's also BLM, there's Unleash You Now, are some other communities that I'm a part of. And it's about 6 or 7. And people probably think I'm crazy, like you're just doing too much. No, you don't understand what these communities have offered. And it's just, we're always in growth mode. We're always in receiving that new, because everyone's going to give you something different. And it's just has been absolutely phenomenal. So welcome to all the communities that you joined that we're going to be a part of together. The Millie Club just started last Friday. Amazing community, really textbook, let's get down to work type of stuff, which will really have you change your mind. That's what it's about. That's what building a leadership mindset is about. That's what BALM Global is about. It's just building more leaders. We are not leaders unless we're building more leaders, and why not do it together instead of doing it by on our own. So I am just so happy that you are on this journey now, that you have been exposed to the love, and can't wait to work alongside you, see what we can come up with. I'm super ecstatic that you just joined the BALM family, so we're now attached at the hip, Chris. So just know that. Can't wait to meet you and your family and see what other things we can do to grow and break that glass ceiling, because I said it in my book. I broke it after 15 years of corporate America and thinking that 60, 70K a year was, the thing to go for. And it's really not. And it's really not about the money. It's really about the community and impacting people. So thank you so much for joining us. How can people get a hold of you, connect with you? And did you want to let us know anything about the Anointed News Journal?
Yeah. So as you see at the bottom, info@anointedonline.net is our email. So I check all those. And then anointedonline.net is the website. You can go on and just see what we're about. So I mean, you could get a hold of me. That email, info@anointedonline.net. Also Facebook. So Facebook, Christopher Collins II. So I'm on there. And as far as the Anointed News Journal, it's a faith-based and professional newspaper for winners, and we highlight education, person interest stories. I say positive politics, where funding that's coming in, things like that. Healthcare. So we're just doing positive things in Camden as well as the surrounding regions, and we also advertise for small business and corporate businesses. So when you look at our news, we're a weekly publication. So when you look at our newspaper, you're always going to see something positive in there. That's the main thing, while we're highlighting the positives of Camden County, and the surrounding area, as well as highlighting businesses.
I love that. Yeah, we need more positive news these days. I don't even watch the regular local news. More because it's just depressing. It's just crazy. But when you get in community with people like Chris, with myself, with all these other communities, the CLA, it just, you're in a position to not just grow, but grow massively. And when I say that, it's not an exaggeration, like at all. So thank you so much, Chris, again, for joining the BALM family, for sharing your story with us. It was amazing having you. We're going to have you back, and then we're going to have a conversation online, because we need to talk. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. As I say, have a great